Religious persecution in England motivated the journey to the New World. Opening hook: imagine an English village in the early 17th century. As the church bells toll overhead, they summon not just worshippers, but enforce a strict conformity demanded by the crown. A group of earnest believers too devout, too radical in their faith faces fines, imprisonment, even corporal punishment for refusing to conform to the established Church of England. They whisper in secret, their dreams set on a distant land across the Atlantic, where freedom of conscience might be claimed. The journey wasn't just a migration, it was a spiritual exodus, a desperate quest for salvation more than new soil. These were the men and women whose faith was shackled at home but soared toward the promise of the New World. England's religious uniformity and reforms. The English Reformation in the 16th century established the Church of England, with the monarch as its supreme head. This religious transformation was marked by political maneuvering and social upheaval. Under Elizabeth I, the Act of Uniformity 1559 mandated compulsory use of the Book of Common Prayer and attendance at Anglican services. Those who refused, known as nonconformists or Puritans, were penalized with fines, imprisonment, or worse. The established church required strict adherence to ritual, vestments, and hierarchy, while Puritans sought to purify worship by removing Catholic remnants considered unscriptural. Religious uniformity was intertwined with loyalty to the crown. Dissenters were viewed as threats to political stability. This stifling climate bred fear and division, marginalizing radicals who fueled the flames of reform. The Puritans and Separatists, refusing state-imposed creeds, became targets of persecution. Outlawed under laws like the Seditious Sectaries Act 1592, their sermons were banned, gatherings dispersed, and ministers imprisoned or executed. Marian exiles and early flight. Queen Mary I's reign, 1553 to 1558, saw a brutal Catholic restoration that persecuted Protestants mercilessly. The Marian exiles fled to more tolerant Protestant countries such as the Netherlands and Switzerland. These exiles helped preserve Reformation ideas abroad and created exile communities that influenced later American might. England was not yet ready to tolerate religious pluralism, prosecuting anyone who diverged from the official church. This exile experience shaped the mindset of later settlers who would seek refuge in the New World. Religious freedom was a beacon, encouraging those whose beliefs were criminalized at home. Separatists and Pilgrims. From Scrooby to Leyden to Plymouth, the Separatist Puritans were a radical branch that rejected any association with the Church of England. They refused to attend state-sanctioned services, choosing to worship independently. In Nottinghamshire, a congregation led by William Brewster and John Robinson met secretly, eventually fleeing to the Dutch port city of Leyden in 1607 for more religious freedom. Life in the Netherlands proved difficult. Economic instability, cultural alienation, and worries over youth abandoning faith prompted the Separatists to seek a place where they could practice religion freely and build a godly society. Their hopes converged on the New World. In 1620, aboard the Mayflower, about 102 settlers, including a corps of religious separatists known as the Pilgrims, landed at Plymouth Rock, establishing the first permanent English colony in New England. This journey was perilous and radical, fueled by the desire for a city upon a hill free from persecution. The Great Puritan Migration 1630-1640, under Charles I and Archbishop William Laud, the Church of England imposed harsh crackdowns on Puritan practices, intensifying fines, imprisonments, and surveillance. Between 1629 and 1640, around 20,000 Puritans emigrated, primarily settling in Massachusetts Bay Colony. These Puritans were more economically and socially diverse than the earlier Pilgrims. Many were middle class, literate families motivated by the ideal of creating an exemplary Christian commonwealth. Their migration was a collective effort, with entire communities relocating to build a Redeemer nation dedicated to strict moral and religious ideals. Roger Williams, Quakers, and religious tolerance. Not all early Americans fit the narrow Puritan mold. Roger Williams, an outspoken advocate for separation of church and state, was banished from Massachusetts and founded Rhode Island as a haven for religious dissenters, including Baptists and later Quakers. The latter faced brutal persecution in Puritan colonies, including imprisonment and executions like that of Mary Diabart, found protection in Rhode Island and Pennsylvania. These early experiments in tolerance foreshadowed broader American commitments to religious freedom and plurality, marking the colonies as unique political laboratories. Legacy: American religious freedom and identity. The refugees who braved Atlantic crossings planted the seeds of America's enduring religious liberty. Colonies founded as plantations of religion embodied experimental pluralism in governance and faith practice. These struggles forged a cultural identity proud of religious freedom and wary of state-imposed orthodoxy. The ideas and institutions birthed in this era, self-governing congregations, elected assemblies, rights to dissent, would profoundly shape the U.S. Constitution and the First Amendment. America's reputation as a sanctuary for the persecuted and a bastion of religious liberty traces directly back to these early journeys driven by faith and freedom. Conclusion. The story of religious persecution in England is not just a tale of hardship, it is a testament to faith as power to inspire courage and forge new beginnings. The Atlantic Ocean was more than water, it was a conduit of hope and salvation. For the Pilgrims, Puritans, and countless others, the New World was a ground where religious dreams could grow free from repression. Their journeys and the communities they founded form the bedrock of American religious freedom and the nation's distinctive identity.